Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 6 p.m. edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe television. First, our major stories. Tragedy hits Bambutus in the West region after 4 kids of the same family die after consuming Irish potatoes prepared by their elder sister. After an autopsy carried out, it was revealed that the meal wasn't poisoned. What then must have provoked their death? Answers in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. Still in Bambutus, but this time around in Bacham, a woman allegedly kills her husband following a violent dispute on infidelity. It is reported that she used a machete to chop up the body of her husband. And also will take you to another part of the country where a man is currently battling for his life in a hospital after his face got deformed by a chimpanzee while at his farm in a locality known as Dom in the Senegal Maritime Division, Littoral region of Cameroon. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for choosing Equinoxe television. You made the right choice. And for presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. A woman is currently inconsolable after the death of her 4 children who died after consuming Irish potatoes. In the course of the autopsy carried out, no toxic substance was detected, thus clearing doubt about possible poisoning. What then could have caused their death? Answers in this report done by Cedric Chakutio.
An unbearable pain, despair, and hopelessness on the faces of family members who are mourning the death of 4 children of the same family. The 4 children died shortly after consuming Irish potatoes prepared by their elder sister. Yesterday, our elder sister prepared Irish potatoes. We used the ingredients given to us by our mother to prepare the food. Everyone at home ate it. I later left my cousin's house. While there, I was informed that my younger sister had collapsed. The victims were later rushed to hospitals. Unfortunately, 4 of them gave up the ghost, while 3 others are currently in a critical condition. What must have provoked this tragic incident still remains unclear. However, investigations are still on course. An autopsy was carried out on the corpses, but no trace of poison was noticed. We are really confused on what must have really killed them. In the Batwesing neighborhood in the Bacham subdivision has left many in shock.
Still talking about tragedies, investigations have been launched in the West region for the gruesome discovery of a man whose body was mutilated and abandoned in his room in a Dindre village. Local sources suspect that he was killed by his own wife. While in Melong, the Littoral region, a man is currently in a critical condition in a hospital after her hand was chopped off by her husband's former girlfriend, as A.C. Luciliengo tells us.
Consternation in Zinso village, Bacham subdivision of the West region, following the macabre discovery of the mutilated body of a man by name Sekale Kampi. The deceased is reported to have been killed and his body cut to pieces, allegedly by his wife after they had a dispute. His family members shortly found the 59-year-old lying in his own pool of blood. At 5 a.m., I was informed my junior brother has been killed. I was baffled because last night I was with him. Investigations have been launched by the security forces of the Territorial Gendarmerie Brigade of Bacham. From the West region to the Littoral region in Melong, a woman's hand is reported to have been chopped by her husband's ex-girlfriend following a debate over a piece of land and plantation located in Bongdang village. In excruciating pain on the hospital bed, the victim explains, the lady crossed her boundaries and began working on my portion of land where I cultivated pineapples. She asked me who sent me to clear the weed. I told her my husband did. To pick up the pineapples, she used the machete on my hand. Elise Desiree Osborne explains that he had terminated his relationship with the alleged perpetrator, but she threatened him. The population alerted the forces of law and order, during which the suspect was arrested and detained at the Melon police station. The security forces say in the days ahead she will face the public prosecutor at the Kongsamba High Court.
Asia Lucy Liengo reporting there. The inhabitants of Dongmoko village in the Senegal Maritime Division now live in fear following the attack of a young farmer known as Nicolas Bidia by a group of chimpanzees while he was clearing his plantation farm. The victim's face was completely disfigured by the wild animals and he is now under intensive medical care at the Yaoundé Central Hospital. Malaglary tells us more.
Nicolas Bidia is now a shadow of himself. The young man in his 30s was attacked by wild animals. A group of chimpanzee right on his plantation farm last Thursday in Dongmongo, a locality in the Senegal Maritime Division, littoral region. This has left family members in shock, seeing their brother completely disfigured. The victim was immediately transferred to the Yaoundé Central Hospital, where he is expected to carry out a surgery. A situation that has instilled fear in the hearts of locals ever since the incident. For this reason, the senior divisional officer for the Senegal Maritime Division visited the area to hold a crisis meeting with farmers. And reacting to this, the Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Jules Dorendongo, informed the population that a team from his ministry alongside other non-governmental organizations have embarked on a working visit to this locality to evaluate the situation on ground and to develop appropriate measures. The minister thus urged the population to collaborate with the team for a positive result. Meantime, natives of Dongmongo village continue to live in fear.
And now we talk something else. Cameroon's Member of Parliament, Honorable Cabral Libi, says the increase in the cost of identity card by state authorities is a clear indication that those at the top care less about the suffering of the population and show their unreadiness to reduce poverty in Cameroon. Christian Timane, a civil society leader, says the ordinance ordering the increase in the cost of stamp to 10,000 francs is void. He made a statement on his Facebook page, as Innocent Aze tells us.
Honorable Cabral Libi fumes at what he qualifies as a complete misuse of the ordinance in Cameroon. The MP adds it is used to ossify the arbitrary, and this with the guarantee of Parliament, which at the end of each finance law grants permanent authorization to the President of the Republic to sign ordinances or budget matters, leading to the awards of contracts which yield scandalous results. Cabral Libi believes the increase in the cost of procuring an ID card in Cameroon shows that state leaders are above ground and do not have plans to reduce the poverty affecting Cameroonians, especially low-income earners and the unemployed. Ordinances and laws which reach the National Assembly no longer print the will of the people but the self-interest of state officials. Cabral Libi furthers that Cameroon has entered the closed circle of countries where the ID card is the most expensive in the world. All this to enrich banditry networks. This has forced him to question the essence and role of the state in protecting its citizens. Another reaction to the increase of ID card stamp at 10,000 francs is that of Christian Timban Bomo, civil society reconciler. Such an increase to him is void. He evokes Article 87 of the 2024 Finance Law, which states that the President of the Republic is empowered to make by way of ordinance modifications to finance, tax and customs legislation. The government is authorized to use the new resources resulting from these measures to meet its commitments.
Christian Timban says, upon analysis, it appears clear that in order to legislate by ordinance, Article 28 of the Constitution requires that the authorization of Parliament indicates the period during which the President of the Republic is authorized to legislate by order. However, Parliament has never set such a deadline. This therefore results in the nullity for illegality and unconstitutionality of the order taken by the President of the Republic.
And now news streaming into our studio says several persons are reported dead in an accident at La Falaise-d'Nchang on the Sanchu-Chang Road in the west region of Cameroon. The accident occurred earlier today. It involved a 30-seater bus of an interurban transport agency which is said to have left Bamenda earlier today heading to Douala. We'll be giving you greater details in our subsequent news editions. And now we talk something else. The governor of the South region has frowned at absenteeism and lack of collaboration among actors in public finance management in the region. Felix Ngelengele was speaking in the course of a meeting aimed to school heads of public accounting units in that region on the new reforms in public finance management in Cameroon, as Fomi Armstrong Sanda tells us.
They are all heads of accounting units in the South region of Cameroon, gathered around the Paymaster General in the presence of the representative of the Director General of Treasury and the Governor of the South region, Felix Ngelengele. They are in a boulevard to review the implementation of the new reforms in public finance management in the South region.
La réforme du compte unique du Trésor, c'est-à-dire que
Jean-Pierre Mbendi, South Regional Paymaster General, says the new reforms include, among other things, the implementation of the single treasury account, the implementation of taxation on state properties, and finally, the coming into play of a judge of the audit chambers. The South Regional Governor wasted no time to denounce absenteeism and the lack of collaboration between some solicitors and treasury accountants in the region. He says most of the treasury accountants prefer to stay within the urban areas and as a result being completely disconnected from activities in the rural workstations. The governor then recommended maximum collaboration as a way out. With the Kribidip seaport now fully operational, the South region has moved to the second position in terms of public revenue collection in Cameroon.
Flooding and landslides in Ivory Coast's largest city of Abidjan have left at least 24 people dead following a week of heavy rains, 4 times the usual volume. And in Senegal, authorities say over a dozen pilgrims returning from their Hajj journey in Mecca have been tested positive of COVID-19. Sidi Chakutio with our international page.
Flooding and landslides in Côte d'Ivoire, largest city of Abidjan, have left at least 24 people dead following a week of heavy rains, 4 times the usual volume in some cases. Flood-related deaths are not uncommon in the West African nation during the rainy season. But according to the Ivorian Meteorological Agency, the recent rainfall was particularly violent with more than 200 millimeters in some districts, 4 times the usual amount in a day. Informal settlements are particularly vulnerable because of poor storm drainage amongst homes often built quickly without zoning regulations. Officials last year demolished houses built along a lagoon in Abidjan as a measure to prevent deadly floods. Elsewhere, Senegalese authorities say they have detected COVID-19 in dozens of pilgrims returning from the Hajj journey in Mecca. From tests conducted in Dakar's Blaise Diagne International Airport, 78 cases of COVID-19 were recorded. Senegal's health ministry said the results are not surprising.
Une épidémie de type respiratoire et il était nous de notre devoir de pouvoir surveiller surtout les pèlerins au retour en mettant en place un dispositif de dépistage pour tout ce qui est en rapport surtout avec la COVID-19.
He says returning pilgrims had been advised to wear masks and self-isolate. Authorities again say they have stepped up surveillance. Saudi authorities on Sunday said more than 1,300 people died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage. They blamed the fatalities on extremely high summer temperatures. Senegal alone sent 12,900 pilgrims.
We now move to our sports page. The president of the Cameroon Football Federation was auditioned by the disciplinary committee of CAF in Cairo today. Samuel Eto'o is answering to questions linked to match fixing as Magic and Gables comes back to the accusations levied against Samuel Eto'o, who is the current president of FECAFOOT.
In the heart of the preparation for his father's funeral last April, Samuel Eto'o will be notified by the Confederation of African Football CAF about complaints received in their office. The complaints that was received by CAF against Samuel Eto'o include match fixing with some club presidents, abuse of power, physical threats, inciting of violence and spreading of wrong information about people in Cameroon. Amongst the different accusations leveled on Samuel Eto'o, just 2 counts were considered by the Confederation of African Football CAF, which includes involvement or promotion of betting in violation of Article 27 of the FIFA Code of Ethics and manipulation of football matches in violation of Article 30 of FIFA Code of Ethics. If Eto'o is found guilty, according to Article 145 of CAF Disciplinary Code,
any person who conspires to distort the result of a match in a manner inconsistent with sporting ethics will be punished with a match suspension and a minimum fine of $10,000. The legal body will also impose a ban on carrying out any activity related to football. In serious cases, this sanction will apply for life.
And according to Article 20, Paragraph 1 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, Samuel Eto'o will face
any person who illegally influences or manipulates directly or indirectly by execution or omission of an act, the progress, result or any other aspect of a match and or competition, or who conspires or attempts to do by any means whatsoever, is punishable by a ban of at least 5 years from carrying out any activity relating to football, as well as a fine of at least 100,000 Swiss francs.
Before the auditioning in Cairo, Samuel Eto'o had published an official statement requesting for his audition to be made public and accusing some Cameroonian authorities for fueling what is happening.
Still on our sports page, a sports journalist at Radio Foot International of RFI says the Confederation of African Football has sold its rights to the World Football Governing Body FIFA, reason why there is no fixed date again for the African Football Saucer Jamboree AFCON. According to Euro Mangara, it is time for Africa to take the bull by the horn to stand firm on their decisions. Magic and Gabriel once more reports.
Since the change of Cameroonian-born Issa Hayatou at the helm of the Confederation of African Football CAF, the Africa Cup of Nations has seen its schedule changed in some editions of the final tournament, either due to health disasters, climate change, or lack of preparedness by the host nation, as well as fear of clashing with another major tournament organized by FIFA. In 2017, Libya failed to host the Nations Cup due to civil war in their country, and Gabon was forced to host, even though it was a delayed edition. As a result of the Ebola virus epidemic in 2014, Morocco rejected to host the competition, though delayed. Equatorial Guinea hosted due to the unreadiness of Cameroon in 2019. After several delays, Egypt hosted the tournament before the outbreak of COVID, which saw Cameroon hosting in 2022 before Cote d'Ivoire, that saw its 2023 tournament pushed to early January 2024 instead of 2023. The change of date for the next AFCON wasn't a surprise to a sports journalist. I wasn't surprised about the decision of CAF. It's only here that FIFA intervenes in the electoral process, imposing their candidates on other members. Do you think that FIFA can decide on the date for the European Championship or Copa America to hold? No way. So we've given ourselves cheap swiftly. Initially announced from June to July and later July to August 2025, meeting in an executive committee meeting, the Confederation of African Football has once again moved the African Cup of Nations to December 2021-2025 through January 18, 2026 due to FIFA's new World Club Cup coming up in the same period the competition was due in 2025.
And that's it for today's package of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. It's in the company of the program Equinoxe, presented by Serge Alain Eto'o. See you tomorrow, same time, same hour, God willing. Bye-bye for now.